From celebrities living in their cars to others living on the streets, we count 10 celebrities who were once homeless. Number 10. Daniel Craig. Today, one of British theatre's most famous faces, James Bond actor Daniel Craig reportedly used to sleep on park benches in London and wait tables for some money as a struggling teenage actor back in the day. Today, he is worth an estimated $65 million. Number 9. Jewel. After losing her job, Jewel lived on the streets for about a month. The now multi-platinum singer says her boss at the time had propositioned her, and when she refused to sleep with him, he wouldn't hand over her paychecks. She then got kicked out of her home since she wasn't able to pay rent and lived in a car until she managed to get everything back together. Number 8. Halle Berry. Oscar winner Halle Berry first moved to Chicago from Cleveland, Ohio in her early 20s to follow her dreams and become an actress. When she ran out of money, her mother decided the best thing for her would be not to send Berry any more cash so that she could learn to make it on her own. With no money, the actress stayed in a homeless shelter for a period of time to spite her mum's disapproval until she caught her big break. Number 7. Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank grew up in a trailer park before moving to California as a teenager with her mother in order to pursue an acting career. But before she was able to land any roles, she and her mother lived in a car and stayed in an empty house for a few months, using payphones to book auditions. Lucky enough to have a friend selling their house, they were allowed to sleep there at night, even though there was no furniture, until it was to be sold, of course. So mother and daughter blew up air mattresses and left in the morning until they were able to afford an apartment. Swank has since won 2 Oscars by the age of 30 and is now estimated to be worth $40 million. Number 6. Steve Harvey. Back when Steve Harvey was trying to start out as a comedian in the 1980s, he found himself homeless after a couple of gigs fell through. Harvey lived in his 1976 Ford Tempo for 3 years, cleaning himself up in hotel bathrooms, gas stations, or swimming pool showers until he got his big break appearing on Showtime at the Apollo. Harvey is now a talk show host, TV personality, and an author. Number 5. Jim Carrey. After dropping out of high school to take care of his sick mother at the age of 16, comedian Jim Carrey reportedly lived in a VW bus with his family parked in different places throughout Canada. Eventually, the family moved into a tent located on Carrey's older sister's lawn, parking the van in the driveway. Carrey has said it was during these tough financial times growing up that he developed his sense of humor. Number 4. Harry Houdini. Before becoming the world's greatest magician, Harry Houdini ran away from home at the age of 12 by simply hopping on a freight car, where he ended up in Missouri. He begged on the streets for coins in order to feed himself and remained homeless. After a few years, he moved to New York City with his father, but because they were so poor, he continued to panhandle on the streets until he began his professional career as a magician at the age of 17. Number 3. Ella Fitzgerald. Before becoming the Queen of Jazz, Ella Fitzgerald was abused by her stepfather after her mother's death when Fitzgerald was a young girl. She then reportedly worked for the mafia for a period of time before police put her in a school for girls. Afterwards, she ran away from home and remained homeless until her life-changing debut at the Apollo Theatre in 1934, winning her fame. Fitzgerald went on to win 13 Grammy Awards and receive medals from both President Reagan and George H.W. Bush. Her face even appeared on a United States postal stamp in 2007 commemorating her achievements. Number 2. Chris Gardner. Inspiration for the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, Chris Gardner was homeless with a young son while he was in a finance training program in order to pursue a career. Although he received a spot on the Dean Witter Reynolds training program, he could not afford to live off the small salary, resulting in his money problems and his wife leaving him. He is now a motivational speaker, writer of 2 New York Times best-selling books, and CEO of Gardner Rich LLC, with offices in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. Number 1. Charlie Chaplin. After the death of his father, Charlie Chaplin's mother was put into a mental hospital, leaving the 10-year-old boy and his brother to make a living on the streets of London alone. Since both the boys' parents had been in show business, the kids decided to follow in their footsteps. Today, he is still known as one of the greatest actors to ever come out of the silent film era.